Okay, hello, welcome. There's a lot to talk about in this episode. I have a lot of thoughts running in my mind. Ready? I'm just gonna start riffing. It'll probably be a little rambly, but it's a lot like all my other videos anyway. It doesn't matter, I guess. Anyway, listen, like 5 episodes, okay? 5 episodes, and there's no plot to this show. There is no plot. And listen, for what this show is going for, which is an absolute just like comedy show, that's fine, all right? You can have a comedy show with no particular through line in the plot. Um, as long as you have good characters and good comedy, right? Unfortunately, the show doesn't have it. It like if I could compare like another show to this, where like the plot doesn't really matter and it could just like be a comedy. It has standalone episodes. Most of it is filler per se. Community I think is a great example. Where the plot isn't necessarily important, just like the characters you meet and interact with. They all have great chemistry together, and there funny lines and funny jokes inside the show, and it's a whole thing, and it's great to watch. It's entertaining. This show has none of that, right? It's all filler except there's just no comedy. It's not funny. It's the show wants to be funny, but it just can't be because it doesn't know how to do it. So just makes it that much harder to watch it. And at the same time, even though there's like no, this is the thing about the MCU, right? The MCU has like been this entity in the world now where since the beginning it's been building up these world building sequences, time after time, movie after movie, to create bigger and bigger stakes, and everything is getting bigger, and characters are more interacting more with each other, and things are getting crazier, and we're getting more character development between characters. None of this show doesn't do that, right? And in fact, while being filler and not funny, it's also destroying past world building at the same time. It's fucking incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a show do this before. It's amazing. Like, what do you do? Why did you hire these people, Disney? They don't know how to write comedy. These characters aren't interesting and they're insufferable. Like even in this episode, oh my god, it's so nothing happened. Absolutely, there was an idea. There was an idea, I think, in this episode that could have been interesting to talk about, right? Like legal cases between superheroes that are like branding. Oh shit, that's not a bad idea at all. Like, how do superheroes deal with branding? How do like minor superheroes deal with people stealing, like, say their name, and how those people deal with merchandise? And what happens from the legal system there? Well, like what if a superhero like gets in trouble per se, causes like insurmountable amount of like uh you know uh collateral damage in like a town or a city, and then other superheroes are like selling merchandise for you without you haven't like actually paid them, and there was an idea there, but the writers, I don't think they know anything about the legal system, just like this entire show. Stuff like this entire case, this case between Titania and She-Hulk lasts maximum an entire week. Even though like cases like this about like copyright, it could last like months. Have you seen like YouTube court cases that go on like almost forever? Like there's so many examples. I don't want to say any at the top of my head, but um how people deal with like copyright and other merchandise and just stuff like that, and people's names and branding. It takes a long time, but the show just like fucking speeds through it all without like any explanation of how these things coming together. So it's super confusing. Like when they get into court, they say like 2 minutes of dialogue and they're out of court, and then they're like, "Oh, I just thought of this thing that'll help me with the case and help me win She-Hulk," and then they're in court again and they win like in 2 minutes again. Like what? And there's no jury. I don't know what these people in the background are doing. They're just witnesses to hear of what's happening. The show doesn't explain it. So if you're watching, like, the show had an opportunity to like explain legal cases in some way. I'm obviously not an expert. I'm not an expert at all. Actually, I would even say I'm less than a layman. I I'm in the dark. I know nothing actually. Like I barely know anything. Right. So this could be an opportunity to educate your audience, I guess, if you wanted to. And this is the show to do it because it's all about comedy and court cases. There's flounders fucking completely. I just don't understand why they're doing it. Jesus. Also, I should mention Titania here. She got paid handsomely. Oh my god, she got paid so much money for this show. And this is her second appearance. She's barely in this episode. Jesus. So apparently, I was questioning this the whole time. I couldn't. I guess I missed this like piece of dialogue in the other episodes, if they even said it or it's just rumors. I'm not even sure. I was reading articles about it. Apparently, Titania isn't in jail for roughing up, the courthouse in the first episodes because she was low on blood sugar and she just kind of went crazy by accident and everything's okay. What? That's another missed opportunity to explain how like a superhero say something like Bruce, right? Bruce's might be the perfect example where like Hulk would freak out and go insane or get mind controlled, do terrible things, and then Bruce would have to live with those repercussions. This girl doesn't have to live with any of those repercussions. She breaks down like this wall in a court case, fights a bunch of bailiffs, doesn't hurt them somehow, even though she's a superpowered, and doesn't get in trouble. And we don't even see the action of that happening. It's just offhandedly talked about. Like, what the fuck? You think that's such like a big thing? Like in the show, that would be a huge thing. She-Hulk would be representing Titania, right? That could be like, that could be a thing. She-Hulk would be representing her, like, oh, it's not her fault her blood sugar went low or something, even though it is. It's just, right? It's so fucking ridiculous. It's so stupid. How you can't make this shit up. Like, how it just doesn't make sense. So many missed opportunities. So many things that are just that don't make sense and are happening indiscriminately without any forethought within the writing or the plot. Not that there is a plot. Again, just, like what the fuck. I even summarize this episode. Fucking She-Hulk gets upset that her name is being used in Titania's catalog to sell her fucking merch. Like, okay. And she didn't want to be She-Hulk in the fucking first place, and she doesn't like that name. But now that this girl's using it, oh well, now I gotta get involved, because now she's suing her for something. Even like this is it's so confusing. Like, can you sue someone for like the brand of their name, even though they haven't like actually branded themselves as that name, but like the world did? That's confusing. But the show doesn't go into that. They don't really. They don't extrapolate on those instances. So it just doesn't make it just keeps making like no sense. It destroying more of the world building. The world building. The MCU doesn't have world building anymore. It's been vaporized by the Thousand Suns controlled by Kang and his interdimensional portals like in the TVA and everything else and the Book of Fachanti and oh my god, everything is just destroyed. It doesn't matter anymore. Oh my god. Cameo the show. Just filler. And you're watching it. I'm exhausted watching the show. 5 episodes. I should be happy watching it, right? It's She-Hulk. Like, people love She-Hulk. The comic version anyway, not this one. But people love her. Like, she's a good character from what I hear online. Secondhand anyway. But it's just so fucking boring. I'm exhausted watching it. Like 28 minutes of this shit. It's not really 28 minutes. I know it says that here. It's more like 24 minutes. And there's no after credits in this episode either for some reason. I don't know why. Just this episode. But it's just horrible. And we get a stupid side plot with that like connects to She-Hulk, probably the next episode, finding her new super suit with her paralegal and the friend at court. Let's see them. They find this weird boba shop that just somehow leads to an underground workplace of people. Why the? That's right. She's speaking Chinese here for no reason because she's racist and he's not Chinese. Oh, it's so funny. It's because it's culturally inappropriate or something. They go to a random boba shop looking for people to make a suit for She-Hulk, and it just so happens that yes, this guy knows a person with an underground superhero suit making company. What the fuck? It's ridiculous. And they find it, and they're there, and this fucking dude, oh my god, making super suits for people. And at the end of the episode, we get a cameo of, God forbid, fucking Daredevil. So he's coming back next episode for sure. For sure, he's coming back. We get a little sneak peek of Daredevil's new helmet. It looks horrible. I don't like the design of it. Well, the design is the same. I really don't like the color. I much prefer his original suit. I mean, I'm sure they'll fuck up Daredevil in this show. I wouldn't put it past them to just absolutely obliterate his character. Why not? I mean, what else? You know, they're gonna do it. What else could they do? Just do everything. Fuck it. Fuck it all. Throw it all in the trash. Jesus. All in the trash. Throw it all in there. Who cares about this show? Honestly, the people that like this, like Fictional Darling, I'll just mention her anyway, because she removed her video of her defense of She-Hulk. It wasn't really a defense. It was just her. I've talked about this before already. It was her basically just being mad that being uh, being harassed on the internet. Fucking get over it. I'm sorry, but yeah, get over it. Anyway, it's just like she deleted that video and then she goes on, seemingly not mentioning it, as far as I could tell. It's like, what are you doing? What do you actually like about the show, right? Because if you know, in 6 months' time, you are you really gonna like believe that when this show is over, that this show has enough substance to like keep you entertained for like the future of the MCU, and just in the future in general, right? Like, what's the rewatch capability of She-Hulk? To me, so far, it's nothing. It's been horrible, boring schlock that has no real plot, awful comedy. It's just filler. You're just watching the miscellaneous adventures of She-Hulk doing weird court battles that don't make sense, and her fighting things that don't make sense, and again like destroying like superhero cameos. That's what it's all about, cameos now. It's not even about like the person in the show anymore, right? There's no real interest. I just want to ask those people, like, what do you like about the show? I really want to know. What's gonna make you keep watching this show later when it's over? What's gonna make you rewatch it? You could rewatch the event. There's so many. You can rewatch the Avengers. You can rewatch um, Iron Man, the original. You could rewatch Guardians. You could rewatch every almost maybe okay, Ragnarok was okay. Infinity War, Civil War, all those movies. The Man ones, the Homecoming, No Far From Home, and No Way Home. They have rewatchability. They have substance, good characters. Um, it actually has decent comedy, stakes. It all meshes well. It's all executed fairly. It's fairly done well. Getting all mixed up. I'm sorry. It's all executed fairly well in those movies, and the plot, and the comedy, and the characters meshing together. And you can be entertained, and there's something there that in those movies that are fun. This show isn't fun at all. It's anti-fun. Literally, it's just anti-fun. There's nothing to write home about this series. How are you gonna watch this in 6 months and be like, yeah, this is a good show? Fuck no. You won't remember anything that happened here because nothing did happen. Literally, nothing. Nothing's happened. The first Hulk went out in space. That's what happened. Now he's gone. Just like but it's the restructuring of the MCU in Phase 4. All the old characters are just gone now. Iron Man, Hulk, Thor. Thor's, I guess, kind of gone. Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye. All the originals, they're gone now. This is our replacement? Fucking She-Hulk, attorney at law. Do you want to see fight like Kang or Galactus? We don't even know I can't even garner anything from her character other than insufferability and that she's never wrong. Like, what? Even in this episode, again, she gets her exes not her ex dates on the stand to testify for her that, oh yeah, she does call herself She-Hulk because she catfished all of them as She-Hulk, and then all the guys don't like her. Rightfully so. Even the guy she had sex with, he's seen as like a bad guy because he didn't want to like be with Jen, like normal Jen. He just wanted to be with She-Hulk for some fucking reason. And he's seen as a bad guy, even though Jen catfished her. Catfished her. He didn't know like she even had a normal form. He thought she was only green and big. He likes those green titties, right? I like the blue titties. A man of culture, a doctor, a man of culture. See, it's all fucked up, you know. God, it's so sad. It could have been a good show. Of course it's not. Why would it be? It's not funny. Bad characters. More destruction of the plot and the world building. What else do we have left, right? Who are they gonna fuck up next? You know, they already fucked up Black Widow. They're gonna fuck up Ant-Man, I guess, even though Ant-Man wasn't good in the first place. Oh my god. I hate the show. I hate the show. Tell me why. If you like it, tell me why, please. I really want to know. All right, I think I'm done ranting. There's nothing to write home about this episode at all. It's not. I'm thinking next episode is gonna be the big one. We finally get to see Daredevil. Maybe we get to see Kingpin too, like we saw him in Hawkeye. Maybe, possibly. Are they gonna ruin him? Most likely. Go ahead and bet on it. Most likely they will. Why not? It'll be a tragedy, a real tragedy. Just like, but I guess I'm used to the tragedy now. It's more numb than infuriating. It's still infuriating, but I'm numb to it a little bit. All right, that's it. I'm done. Finally, I'm done. All right, you guys have a good day. See ya.